Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone prequel cost more than most expensive Game of Thrones season. The second and final season of Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone prequel might have ended nearly 2 months ago, but new information about the series has surfaced. 1883 was the first Yellowstone prequel to hit the air, and it stars Tim McGraw and Faith Hill opposite Sam Elliott. The show was followed by 1923, which featured Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren in leading roles. A new report from the Wall Street Journal revealed that 1923, which initially aired in 2022 before kicking off its second season earlier this year, cost around $22 million per episode. This is more than the final season of Game of Thrones, which reportedly cost around $15 million per episode. As of May 2023, Paramount was reportedly spending around $500 million a year for the Yellowstone franchise. This has likely gone down now that Yellowstone and 1923 are over. Sheridan's work on Yellowstone was such a success that it prompted Paramount to move forward with basically any idea that popped into his head. Just last year, the television titan released new seasons of Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Lioness, and Yellowstone. He then finished the year by dropping the first season of his hit new series, Landman, which is led by Billy Bob Thornton and Demi Moore. Landman was renewed for season 2 earlier this year, and the second season is neck-deep in production ahead of its planned November release. Sheridan is also working on other projects, such as The Madison, which will star Michelle Pfeiffer and Patrick J. Adams, and Fast, which will reunite the scribe with 1923 star Brandon Sklenar. When is Mayor of Kingstown Season 4 coming out? Similar to 2024, the final few months of 2025 will be good ones for Taylor Sheridan fans. Paramount has already confirmed that Mayor of Kingstown Season 4 will be released in October 2025. This comes not long after the next season of Tulsa King, which will return to Paramount Plus in September. Mayor of Kingstown stars Jeremy Renner, who is best known for his work as Hawkeye in the MCU and for starring in several Mission Impossible movies. As for Tulsa King, it's action icon Arnold Schwarzenegger in the lead role of Dwight Manfredi, and he's flanked by other stars such as Frank Grillo and Neil McDonough in the show. In the modern television landscape, budgets have become almost as epic as the stories they aim to tell. From dragons soaring over Westeros to cowboys riding across the American frontier, prestige TV has turned into a playground for cinematic ambition and towering costs. But no one expected Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind Yellowstone, to outspend even the juggernaut that was Game of Thrones. Yet that's exactly what happened with his prequel series 1923. Yes, you read that right. 1923, Sheridan's sweeping prequel to Yellowstone, reportedly cost more per episode than the most expensive season of Game of Thrones. To put things in perspective, the final season of GOT, with its dragons, White Walkers, and massive battle sequences, cost HBO a staggering $15 million per episode. But 1923? It blew past that number like a stallion galloping through a hailstorm. The cost, nearly $22 million per episode. So how did a Western drama about a Montana ranching family in the early 20th century manage to wrangle a bigger budget than the fantasy epic that defined a generation? Let's ride into the reasons. 1. Sheridan's insistence on realism. One of the core tenets of Taylor Sheridan's storytelling is authenticity. From his Sicario screenplay to his gritty Wind River, Sheridan doesn't just write about a place, he immerses audiences in it. And for 1923, that meant shooting on location in some of the harshest, most remote, and most beautiful parts of the American West and beyond. Unlike Game of Thrones, which frequently relied on green screens and digital backdrops, 1923 filmed in real-world locations. Montana's Yellowstone region, South Africa, Kenya, Malta, and more. Each location came with its own logistical hurdles. Transporting cast, crew, equipment, horses, and props across continents doesn't come cheap. But Sheridan wouldn't have it any other way. His mantra, "If I can't touch it, it doesn't belong in the scene." 2. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren aren't cheap. In what might be the most unexpected casting coup in recent memory, 1923 stars two Hollywood legends, Harrison Ford and Dame Helen Mirren. Landing one Oscar winner is notable. Landing two, especially Ford, who had never done a major TV series before, reportedly received top-tier salaries, befitting their stature and experience. While exact figures haven't been confirmed, estimates suggest they each earned $1.2 million per episode. Multiply that by 8 episodes, and suddenly $22 million per episode starts to look a little more reasonable. It's not just about their paychecks, though. Ford and Mirren brought instant credibility to the show, elevating it from spin-off to prestige television. Their involvement also likely raised costs in other ways. Tighter security, premium accommodations, and scheduling flexibility all come into play when working with legends. 3. Period details and production design. If you thought building dragons was expensive, try recreating 1920s America. Every frame of 1923 drips with historical authenticity, from the trains and wagons to the vintage firearms, flapper dresses, and Model T Fords. Sheridan's team spared no expense on period-accurate set design, costumes, and props. Want to build a frontier town from scratch? That'll cost you. Need to outfit dozens of background actors with 1920s attire? Fork it over. Plus, 1923 explores more than just ranch life. It delves into colonial Africa, Catholic boarding schools, Prohibition-era conflicts, and post-war trauma. Each narrative thread demanded its own distinct setting and historical context, each more costly than the last. 4. Sheridan's creative control. Sheridan doesn't just write his shows, he runs them with an iron grip. According to industry reports, he exerts full creative control, from casting and scriptwriting to post-production and even marketing. Unlike typical TV productions that rely on cost-cutting by committee, Sheridan's process tends to lean toward excess. This includes using his own Texas ranch for many scenes, which adds authenticity but also logistical overhead, running massive scenes with dozens of horses and wranglers, and reshooting scenes until they're exactly right. It's the kind of perfectionism that turns a $10 million scene into a $20 million one. Paramount has indulged him so far, betting big on his Midas touch. Given the success of Yellowstone, 1883, and now 1923, it's a gamble that keeps paying off, for now. 5. The streaming wars arms race. Finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the streaming wars. 1923 is a Paramount Plus tentpole, and in today's overcrowded content landscape, every platform is desperate for a signature series, something that defines them the way Game of Thrones did for HBO. To compete, Paramount has essentially given Sheridan a blank check. They know that his name, his world, and his sprawling storytelling can drive subscriptions. And they're not alone. Netflix, Amazon, and Apple are all spending outrageous sums on content in hopes of landing their own Yellowstone or GOT. In that environment, the $200 million overall budget for 1923 isn't just a number, it's a statement. It says, "We're here, we're serious, and we've got horses." The verdict? So does 1923 live up to its sky-high budget? Critics and fans seem to think so. The series has been praised for its sweeping visuals, intense drama, and the gravitas Ford and Mirren bring to every scene. Sheridan's commitment to a grand, cinematic vision has undeniably pushed the genre to new heights. But it also raises the question, how long can this level of spending be sustained? In a world where even streaming giants are pulling back and looking for profitability, 1923 may represent a high-water mark of prestige TV extravagance. Still, while dragons may be out of fashion, dusty cowboys and epic family sagas, with billion-dollar production values, are riding high. And if you ask Taylor Sheridan, he'll probably tip his hat, light a Marlboro, and tell you, that's the cost of doing it right.